Okay, so now that we have completed those introductions, I have started recording. So for those of you who are here, if you need to leave early or if you want to watch the replay, you'll have access to it. And then hi to everyone who isn't able to attend, you will have access to this replay. So I'll just do a brief intro one more time. My name is Jade, also known as Teacher Jade. That is not a name I gave myself. That is something my former students used to call me, and it just kind of stuck with me. And it's also the name of my online school, Teacher Jade's Writing Academy. But today we're going to focus on this masterclass, how my online courses help me earn over $10,000 a month, working less than 10 hours per week. So I started off teaching online almost 15 years ago, but it was always a side hustle. It was never like the main job. And I'll kind of get into those details a little bit more later, but I really want to focus on how anybody can create an online course and earn an income. So before we get started, over there in the chat box, I want you to tell me what is your passion. Don't worry, no one can see the chat except for me. This will not show up on the replay with your name attached to it. So share away. I'm the only one who can see what you're writing there. Type your expertise in the chat box. And if you don't think you have expertise, think about what you could talk about for 30 minutes straight with no prep. So if I put you on the spot right now and I see journaling, crocheting, creative writing, if I put you on the spot right now, it's like, tell me everything you can tell me about crocheting. Can you talk about it for 30 minutes straight? You probably have an expertise in that topic if you can talk about that topic for 30 minutes straight. So I'm just reading some more over here in the chat box. Math, adult education, parenting, homeschooling. Ooh, I'm a homeschooler myself. All right, self-publishing. Awesome. So, excuse me, there's quite a few things over there in the chat box. So I want you to keep this in mind as we go through this presentation. Think about your passion. Whatever you're passionate about can become a course that you're going to create. So now that you're typing that in your mind, like I said, keep it in mind during this presentation. And for those of you who are having some self-doubt, because I see some things over like, I'm not sure, think about, again, what you can talk about for 30 minutes straight. Now, do you really care about this topic? Or do people really care about this topic? That's why I get a lot. Yes, no matter what you have to offer, someone out there cares. And so I always use this as an example. I always use gardening as an example. I have unsuccessfully had like 3 gardens in my life, maybe 4. And I now go to classes and I'm learning how to garden. Now I kind of looked up because in exchange for this gardening, someone put self-publishing there. I'm helping her self-publish her own book. So my daughter also self-published. She self-published when she was 11. So I have a little tiny skill set with it. It's not my expertise, but in exchange for learning how to garden, I'm learning how to garden. She's teaching me what to do. I'm also helping her with her book. So no matter what topic it is that you want to teach, there's someone who cares about it. And I hear this one a lot. Is the market oversaturated? Possibly. Doesn't mean that you can't add to it. And I use a bread analogy, right? If you go to the grocery store and you walk down the aisle with all the bread, you see all these different types of bread. You see different brands of bread. Are you going to let someone else who's making bread stop you from getting bread? Y'all see that right there? That's where you have to come up with your unique position. We'll talk about that as well. But there's always going to be competitors. What's going to make you unique? What's going to make you stick out? And how people will find out about your course. I do this thing called renegade marketing, where you do not have to spend money to market your classes. Of course, using paid ads is a great way to get some visibility, but there are also ways that you can get visibility without having to spend a lot of money, because you're obviously here because you're trying to make money right now. And the thing about followers, I don't have a lot of followers, and that has not stopped me from having successful online courses. So it's important to start now. Right now, especially during summer, especially I should say, if you plan on teaching like an academic subject, because school's starting back up soon, like next month and in the fall, and not just for academic courses, but if you think about homeschoolers, some of us homeschool, I saw someone put homeschooling in there, some of us homeschool year round, so we're always looking for online courses. But the other thing about starting now, whether it's an academic course, whether you want to teach to youth or to adults, if you keep putting it off, a year from now, you're going to be exactly where you're still at versus where you want to be. So everyone has an expertise, and there's no reason why you can't earn an income teaching what you absolutely love. You might not know where to start, and that's what I'm here for. So if you're worried about an oversaturated market, or you fear your courses won't be lucrative, another reason why it's important to start now. If you start today, you're putting the work in now versus not doing it. And if you feel like the market's oversaturated right now, what's going to change a year from now? The only thing that's going to change is that people are going to continue doing what they enjoy doing while you're still feeling like you might be stuck. You think you can't scale, you want to scale, you just don't know how. So one of my favorite quotes, I love quotes, is you'll only fail if you don't start. Like, that's the only way that you are going to fail, is if you actually don't do it, then you've already failed. So instead of waiting until the who knows when I'm ready, you can start today and then look back proud that you didn't put it off. Think about where you could be a year from now if you just follow your passion and start this journey. So I want you to take a moment. I'm gonna have everyone pause for a minute. And imagine that you built a course and you see your very first enrollment. So you didn't think it was possible, but you see the progress. You only need to start with one enrollment. It'd be great to have 100 or 1,000, right? But that first enrollment lets you know that you have started. So that one enrollment can become 100. That 100 could become thousands. Then you have to hire instructors or create pre-recorded classes to meet the demand. So that's what happened to me. My very first online class, my very first online independent course had one enrollment. And that one enrollment became 100, no, almost 1,000. I wish one from to 1,000, but I went up to 100 enrollments within less than 30 days. And then from that 100, it became thousands. I have currently 6 teachers that offer my curriculum. I have live classes, live virtual classes, and I also have pre-recorded classes. If I wouldn't have started, I wouldn't be here today. I'm not still be here physically, but financially, I'd be somewhere else. And the whole idea about needing thousands of followers, how are people going to find out about my course if they don't know about me? Social media is not the only means for visibility. And even some of your followers aren't going to be the people who sign up for your courses, but the people who are watching you that aren't following you will be the ones signing up for your courses. And also, I use free publicity to grow my visibility. So one thing I always like to point out is I've never paid for any of these articles that were written about me. I've never paid to be on a podcast. And if you're doing any of those things, you are paying for marketing. That needs to be something that you're thinking about as far as your marketing. Are you willing to pay to be published? And when you do that, let's pause for a moment and give you a little tip. Make sure you have access to their stats. So if you're paying someone to write an article about you, or if you're paying them for like a shout out on social media, look at their stats, because it may not align with who you're trying to meet, who your demographic or who your market is. So that's just a quick little tip for you all. As far as thousands of followers, I don't have that. I don't have thousands of followers, but I do have thousands of enrollments in my courses. So the purpose of this new course that I created, the Get It Masterclass, the guided e-learning teacher investment toolkit, you're investing in yourself, is to share the steps on how you can develop a course using course content creation, show you how you can create a unique position so you can see your enrollments go up, and explain how you can increase enrollments in your courses while working alongside me. Yes, so absolutely, the course I'm just reading up from the chat box over here. The course content creation does go over how to make live and pre-recorded courses. I also want you to keep in mind, you don't have to have content to create a course. If it's just you speaking directly to someone via like this Zoom format, you don't necessarily need content. So the same idea with the gardening. If someone were to teach me how to garden, I don't want to watch a PowerPoint presentation. I want them out of the garden, and I want to be out of my garden, and I want them to tell me what to do while I'm digging in my dirt. So that is their content. Their content is their garden. So a little bit more background about me. Hopefully, if you're here, you know a little bit about me. That's how you found me. But I am the founder of Teacher Jade's Writing Academy, which actually stemmed from a side hustle. So I started providing coaching and consultations to companies first. They want to train their staff so that they could become more proficient in virtual education before working with individuals. I'm also the world schooling. I'm a world schooling mom of one. Yeah, so world schooling is like, it's homeschooling, but we did it around the world. We only world schooled. Well, our second year of homeschooling, we world schooled and we visited 9 countries. And then our second go round, we did 6 countries, and that was all like back to back. So some of the companies that I was providing coaching consultations for, they reached out to me actually. And I had one parent who worked at a university whose child I used to teach reach out to me and ask if I could assist with the coaching of their staff when they started creating virtual online classes. And so, yes, I'm taking all of that and I'm now giving it to individuals versus these companies. All right, so quick question. How many of you used to play school when you were younger? That's a young Jade right there. So I actually never thought that I'd be an educator. That wasn't like the dream job. I actually wanted to be a professional storyteller because we used to go to the library and there was this lady who would go up there and tell the Anansi the spider stories. And I wanted to be her. Then I wanted to be a museum curator. Then I wanted to be a videographer, like all the things I wanted to become. Educator was not on that list. So this is how I turned this side hustle into a business. First of all, it's a journey. It's been a lot of adventure. There's been the good and the bad and the night note crying, curled up on the floor, trying to figure out what do I do next type of adventure. So I'm going to take you on this quick ride. I just want you to sit tight. We're going to go over some more information about the Get It course. So we're going to go back to 2014. Back in 2014, I was teaching private adult students via Skype and working for multiple ESL platforms. See over in the chat box, yes, one of them was VIP Kids, yes. But this was in addition to my day job working for Atlanta Public Schools, and I also worked as a dispatcher for a taxi company for a city I had never been to. I'd only been in Georgia for like less than 4 months, and I started working for a taxi company, and their business was located in Cobb County. So it was Kennesaw, Smyrna, and I can't even remember Hiram, I think was the other city. I'd never even been to those cities, but I had this big old map, and that was the work that I was doing. So I had 6 jobs. And then I quit all of those jobs when my daughter asked to be homeschooled. I was so tired of routine. I was tired of always working because I was always working. And that's when we started our world schooling adventure. So I give a lot of credit to my daughter helping me have these aha moments where I was like, you know what? This isn't working. What I'm doing isn't working when all I'm doing is working. However, I still needed income. So I originally started making pre-recorded lessons for homeschooling families, and I used Schoology as my LMS. That's a learning management system, and that's where I housed my courses. So I would make these pre-recorded lessons, the same lessons I taught my daughter who I was homeschooling, and I would post them on my Schoology account, and then the parents would pay for these courses. So I primarily only worked with homeschooling families, but this was after I had been teaching adults on Skype. I had a long journey in education. Eventually I had to upgrade because Skype, I don't even know if Skype's around still, but I went from having those private adult students and I had a new target audience. Those were my homeschool families. So I had all these tools. I used the same curriculum that I developed for my daughter for my online classes. I had all these resources. I developed something that people were interested in. And eventually I had to upgrade. So I went from Skype to Schoology to my own website, where I then had to add in some integrations and plugins. So if you sign up for the Get It course, you're going to see that neither one of them look like this, but the modules are there, but it's through my website. After that, so that's when I started teaching well, I shouldn't say teaching, but doing the consultations for the companies. And I got to see a lot of these companies that I work for excel and make millions. And that was where I was like, hey, I want that same opportunity. And that's why I created teacherjade.com. And that's also why I had to expand from being a solo teacher to having a staff of teachers that could offer my curriculum. And I did all this while traveling. So that first year of traveling, we went to, I cannot tell you the countries off the top of my head. The first year we did European countries, but we did go to Morocco. So we went to one African country. Then the second go round, we did some African countries, and then we also did some Asian countries. So quite a few, like Greece, France, Germany, Egypt, Kenya, Senegal, South Africa. I feel like I already said Germany, Spain, Indonesia, Thailand. I'm definitely missing some. But yes, to answer that question. But after that first round, I felt we came back to the US, and I felt like I still need to get a job. Like I felt like I needed that type of routine and stability. And so I went back to teaching. And then I heard about a new platform, and that's when I decided to list my classes. So here I was teaching classes through my platform. I also had my classes still offered on Schoology, but it was still connected back to my platform. I was teaching adults at, well, they weren't all adults. They were like older teens, adults. Everybody was between like the ages of 16 and like 25. So I was working at this center teaching adults. And I can't remember, I was on a Facebook group and somebody mentioned this platform. And I was like, oh, let me list my classes. So I had to choose a platform because it was a lot of work for me to maintain everything at the time. I had to maintain my website, I had to utilize this LMS, I had to be the teacher, the content creator, the marketing, the branding, HR, all those people until I hired the right people. So that's also in the Get It course. It discusses how to build your team once you're ready to get to that point. Now that platform was OutSchool, and my first month on the platform, I made less than $50. Like I'm gonna circle this and highlight it for you. My first month. This isn't. This is so. Sorry. So this is from 2017. So this is that whole year. Started teaching on OutSchool in November. So this is the month of November and December together because it's just showing you by the year. Made $149.90. By my second year, that's when I started earning more. And currently, this is 2021. My 2022 isn't up yet. Also, that's going to include the income from my teachers. I'm not teaching classes anymore on this platform. I'm only teaching classes through my Get It course and through teacherjade.com. And then I have my courses listed on other websites as well. But for those of you who like to do math, if you do that math, at this point, I was working less than 15 hours a week. And this was combined on both my platform and on this platform. And that's when I started getting a whole lot of emails. Well, first, I should say two articles were published at the same time. One was in Forbes and one was in Business Insider. So I got a lot of emails, DMs and PMs from people, and I couldn't answer the same questions over and over again. I was like, everyone's asking me the same questions. So I launched my first product, and that's when I came out with the ebook, a beginner's guide to teaching online, creating your virtual workspace. And that was in 2008. So I give out a lot of free resources and information. I have my blog, I post stuff on YouTube, I post on my Instagram, but I'm giving as much information out as possible. So even with giving out the information, I know people still want a little bit more, and that's why I have the Get It course. And I feel like the most important part of the course is the access. I have weekly live sessions. There's course evaluations, there's mock classes. So you have a whole lot of access to myself and to everyone who joins the course through the Slack community. So after that, I started offering consultation packages. So these were one-on-one sessions. But the thing that stuck out to me the most was that most of the people coming in weren't school teachers. Just checking over here in the chat box. Yeah. you don't have to have a teaching license. You don't even have to have a degree or any type of certification, depending on what you decide to teach. So it is, if you can't provide therapy if you don't have the correct license. So no, you don't have to be a school teacher. And most of the people I work with, most people that I'm currently working with, do not have a background in education, which isn't required because your expertise doesn't require you to always have a degree, but they want to develop these courses that align with their passions. So I finally made my first self-paced online course for adults. I was already doing this for youth, but I finally did it for adults. And I went from having those 6 jobs to multiple streams of income while still working less than 15 hours a week, because that's the lifestyle I created. That's the lifestyle I wanted to maintain. So some more throwbacks. This was not the life that little me envisioned. So that's me when I was 16. I moved out when I was 16, and I've always been in survivor mode. It's working to pay bills. I didn't want to have that type of lifestyle. That was my focus. Here's me at 16, is working at Camp Snoopy, and I had 2 positions at Camp Snoopy. One of them, Camp Snoopy, was in the Mall of America, Minnesota. It's called, I think it's Nickelodeon Studios now, but I worked in food service and park services. Oh, nope, there's 3. So food service, park services, and rides. I would be at this place all day long. And then when I was in school, I had early release. So I would leave school at 12 and go to the mall and work until 9:30. That was all I did in high school, was work and pay bills. Again, I moved out when I was 16. So I was paying rent, I was paying car insurance, all of those things. And my whole idea about life was, you work so you can pay your bills. So eventually I did end up becoming a teacher, a licensed teacher, who never taught the subject that I got licensed for in a classroom. I had a whole bunch of different para positions, a paraprofessional. I just couldn't find the fit. I couldn't find the thing that was going to work for me. So I had no idea that I would become a 6-figure teacher, which I didn't give myself, like, somebody called me a 6-figure teacher, and I was like, I do make 6 figures. 6 figures, mind you, is not a lot. I want more than 6 figures. That's actually the goal. Or this term about being a teacherpreneur, I like that one. So think about your own entrepreneurial journey, where it can take you if you just get started now. All right, so I'm checking over here in the chat. Yes, so I see a whole lot of, like, I'm just worried. I don't know how to start. That's what I'm here for. And this isn't something where you have to decide, I'm going to quit my job today and I'm going to create this course. This is something that you can do when you're not at work. And depending on what type of job you have, you might be able to work on it while you're at work, right? And all your classes, again, don't have to be live. A lot of my courses start off pre-recorded. But my biggest goal was to exit the rat race. I want to enjoy my life. I just want to be able to enjoy actually living. And I want to enjoy time with my daughters. This is when we were in Kenya, and we did a program called Work Away. So in exchange for my volunteer services, we were able to have free room and board. And I volunteer taught at a school in Kenya. So enough about me. We're going to talk about how you can get it. So if you're ready, I want you to type in hashtag get it over in the chat box. Okay, yes. So here's how it's going to happen. Here's how you're going to get it. So 1, you'll learn the 3 C's. Number 2, you'll set up your unique position so you can go up. And 3, you'll have direct access to me and everyone taking this journey. So access to a community of like-minded individuals. I just want you to think about how your life could change if you're able to earn 6 figures or more. I still see those get it's going off in the chat box. Yes. All right, so number 1, the 3 C's. This is the course content creation. This is how you're going to create your class. So quick question, do you know how to turn a lesson plan into a virtual class? I see some yeses, some maybes. This is where I'm stuck. It's really just making a visual to go along with what you're presenting. Again, you don't always have to have a presentation. You don't even have to have a lesson plan. So my writing courses, I make lesson plans because I need my structure so I know how I'm going to build my class out. But I also have an online class where all we did was play games. There wasn't too much that I had to do to prepare for that class. Played categories, we played Pictionary, charades. I had another class called Lunchtime in Literature. We just came to class with our lunch and the book that we were reading. So yes. All right, so I got some yeses, some nos, and some maybes. So these are some of the courses I've created. And it really stemmed from like one class. Every single one of these classes is connected to another class. So I also discuss how to create class funnels. And I price my classes based on competitors' prices, but I increased my number of enrollment. So a lot of people do one-on-one classes. I don't do one-on-one classes because imagine if you are teaching one person for $50. If you can teach 10 people for $50, you're either going to make $50 or $500 in that same amount of time. So a lot of people are only charging $12 per hour. I price my courses at $18 to $24 for 40-minute sessions. Why? I know my worth, I know my value, and I know what I was offering. And people pay for quality. Not say that there's anything different between Gucci and Guess, but people pay for quality. They pay for a name. They pay more when they know they're getting quality. So you have to determine your worth. I see a lot of people, okay, over here in the chat box going crazy again. How much should I charge for my classes? Same question. I'm not sure how much I should charge. How do you decide how much to charge? So I decide how much I'm going to charge based on the amount of time it takes me to create a course. So once I create a course, let's say I have, like for my writing class, it's 4-week-long class. Each class is 40 minutes. But to develop and put that class together, I probably spent anywhere between 2 to 4 hours just putting the class together and then revamping it. And then it's a writing class. So after the class, I'm providing feedback. So I take into account all of those factors, and that's how I decide to set my prices. So if you value your time at $12 an hour, so others. I don't value my time at $12 per hour. And you can price your courses however you want to. $12, $18, $24, $50, whatever, by following those course content creation steps, which also goes over pricing for your courses. So if people are like, oh, this is priced too high, that's fine. Go someplace where you can get it for less. So always have a solution in place. Not for those people who think that your classes are priced too high, but ask yourself, what should I offer at this price point? Make your course so amazing that people want to pay for what you're offering. And this can be done with the proper strategies. So let's say your target audience is adults. The first course that I created to help people learn how to create online courses was called Teacher Jade Masterclass. Not same as this masterclass. It was a masterclass with 8 modules, and they had to go through it alone. And I priced the course at $3.99. I didn't have a particular reason for pricing it at $3.99, but I went with that price point because there were no live sessions. So the course included an ebook, the 2 one-on-one consultations, but that was for the pre-sale, and then pre-recorded lessons to create online courses. All I had to add was a link to my calendar so that they can enroll for their scheduled one-on-ones, only for those people who bought the course that was for the pre-sale. And I made the class in one day. A class in one day that had 8 modules. So you can absolutely create a class in one day. In the program, my goal is to get you to get that class created as quickly as possible. So done is better than perfect. If you've ever heard that saying, a lot of people think that things have to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. If you're spending a lot of time trying to get something done, but not actually getting it done, you won't have anything done. So those 3 C's, it's the course content creation, is how you develop and present your course. And here's a little secret, you don't need the presentation. So again, you get to determine your worth. You can create a class in one day. You just have to sit down and do it. And then we got number 2, you'll set your unique position. It's going to help you go up, stand out, and stand up. And again, back to the one where I always hear it's oversaturated. There's already so many people out there offering this type of course. My academy offers writing classes. I am not the only online writing company. I am not the only individual person offering writing classes. Most of my teachers have their own classes and they teach writing classes. That's not my concern. My concern is my business and the visibility of my business, not just for myself now, but also for my teachers. So are there a lot of people out there? Yes, but you have to figure out how you're going to set yourself apart. So this unique position, there's no one else that's quite like you. Show people who you are to get them interested. So even if someone took my course and tried to recreate it, which they do, because I have teachers that teach my classes, they're still not going to teach it just like me. We have different personalities. We have different ways that we present the exact same information. So make sure you're showing who you are so you can create this unique position. The reason why people want to come to you for what you're offering versus whoever else is offering the same thing. And the other thing about that, thousands of followers, you don't need thousands of followers. However, I can show you how you can increase your enrollment to get more people engaged in your courses by using what I like to call my renegade marketing. So I have a little hit method. And this is the copy that you put in when you are promoting your courses. So number 2, we'll go over how to set up your unique position. It's going to help you go up. And I'm just going to tell you about a couple of people I've worked with. So Chanel, she left her jobs. She was like me, she had jobs. She was nannying and working at a child care center. And she wanted to branch out and create her own brick and mortar child care center. She did right at the beginning of the pandemic. So she had to figure out how she's going to keep these families engaged. So she started offering virtual classes before schools even made an option. Like before schools, while schools were still trying to figure out what they were going to do, Chanel jumped on, met with me, and I showed her how to develop an online course, and she was able to still maintain her physical space while she was teaching virtually. And now that they're back in school, she still offers virtual classes to those who don't want to return to the classroom. So you want to figure out how you're going to stand out from the crowd. Chanel was able to pivot quickly, and that's how she was able to stand out. Number 3, you're going to have direct access to me and everyone else that's taking this journey. So you may have heard this proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So having support is going to help you along your journey, and you will have support from me and everyone who joins the community. So of course there will be obstacles, but there will also be those wins. And when you have support, you can stay focused and motivated. And my goal is to get you to complete your course and have it listed, have it out there so you can start earning income from your courses. And you also get to the destination faster, but you have to think about how far you want to go. So developing a course is one step that can lead to multiple streams of income. Yes, okay, someone just mentioned that they read one of my blog posts about how I was working with a company that didn't quite work out for me. Yes, that did happen. So I always say try if you want, whether you decide to work with me or someone else, see if there's a trial, see if there's something that you can get into, like my masterclass. This is free, so you can get a feel of who I am, what I have to offer. And you might decide, yeah, I don't really like her, I don't want to work with her. That's fine. Or you might be like, yes, this is the person I need to work with. So check people out, look into their background, because yeah, that blog post, it took me 3 months to actually write it because I was so hurt by that experience. Yes. So the ways that you can develop multiple streams. So when I was going on this journey alone versus when I had support and a team, the right team, finally have the right team. So again, taking the journey with support can help you avoid obstacles, like all my pitfalls, everything that I've had to learn from just having it happen, all those learning curves. I'm giving you all that information. So if you want to start something, I'm here to help you on your journey. There are, again, weekly live sessions that I will be leading, as well as the Slack community that everyone can join. So how will I do this? You're going to learn more about course content creation And within that course content creation, you're creating a class, you're creating the course descriptions, you're also presenting the information. And there are going to be lesson plans that I will provide for you in different templates that you can use that won't just help you develop your course, but also help you sell your course. And with your unique position and ability to create course content, you'll also have that direct access to me again to help you on this journey. So I also want you to meet Jenna of Painted Jab. It's kind of a funny story how this started off. I just started getting gel nails and I wanted them off. And so I sent a text. I was like, how do I get these gel nails off? And this again, during the pandemic, everything was closed. And that's kind of how it started, with me saying I need to get these gel nails off my nails. And months later, she reached back out to say, hey, can I create an online course? But I'm like, yes. I was like, if I reached out to you about my nails, I'm pretty sure there's other people out here in the world who want to know how to do their own nails, how to remove nails, how to put them on, how to paint, all the stuff that goes along with nails. So she created a course and listed it, and she used Udemy, and she did it in less than 30 days. So I've done a lot of talking. Go ahead and type yes if you're still with me, if you're still hanging in there. And yeah, I'm saying all these questions, I am going to answer them at the end of the presentation. Absolutely, yes. All right, we got our yeses in there. Yes. Okay, let's go. So these are steps that I took to grow my online teaching business to 6 figures. I use the 3 C's. I create those lesson plans, and I took those lesson plans and turned them into virtual courses. I was able to leverage visibility and traction to create my unique position. And I didn't take the journey alone. I started off by myself, and now I have my team. And the team isn't just the teachers that are working for me. I had other people along the way, independent contractors I've used to help me as well, plus that failed course that I signed up for, where I learned a lot about what I didn't want. Yes, that happened. That blog post now is just sitting here in the back of my mind again. So I want you to think about how you feel if you create a course that can make you thousands a month just by following the 3 C's, creating a unique position and joining the community. And ask yourself, like, what's really stopping you? What's holding you up? Jenna was able to create her course in 30 days. Chanel hopped on and she made her courses before schools had even decided that they were going to go virtual. So she was a little bit ahead of the game. So this is how I'm going to help you. If you want to know how I want you to type "get it" in the chat box one more time. This is what you are going to get with the Get It course. So once you enroll in the course, you'll have immediate access to the modules, the templates, and an accountability calendar to help you have your first class listed within 30 days, like 30 days. So you start today, you'll be done in 30 days. And there are 2 different tracks. And this is from what I see in the chat box. A lot of y'all aren't even teachers. That's not your background, which is absolutely fine. Even if you have a small business or a big business, you can still teach classes online. That's why you have the option to make live classes or pre-recorded classes. But these 2 tracks, one of them is going to be focused on if you want to create your own website. And then the other one is if you want to go on like an established platform where you can offer your courses. And then the other 2 tracks are for those who have classroom teaching experience and those who do not. And even if you have classroom teaching experience, you still might want to watch some of those unit videos about developing virtual classes. In addition to the course and all those tracks, there will be live office hours and brainstorming sessions every week. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you're also going to receive all 3 of my ebooks. So Beginner's Guide to Teaching Online, Creating a Virtual Workspace, Teaching Online, and the Organization Checklist. And there's one more thing. You're going to receive course content and description feedback. So I want to say it's in module 4 where you're able to submit your course and actually get feedback on what you have created. So you'll have another set of eyes. And if you join the community, you can always share it in the community as well. So you can get feedback from others, not just me. So what else are you gonna get? Let's take a look. So all these modules, actually I updated it. So there's been a change. There is an additional module and you'll have to join to find out what's in that module. And then the community, that's part two. Like that's, I feel like that's just as big as part one of the Get It course, because we have a private chat group and it's great for connecting, staying motivated, sharing tips and advice. And it includes those dates for all those office hours and brainstorming sessions, because sometimes I might throw in an extra day or something because I feel like it's necessary. So just remember, Chanel, she left 2 of her jobs and she created her own business at the start of the pandemic. So she purchased this space, she leased this space for her school, just for schools to close. And she was able to pivot and create online courses. And then Dr. Marta, she was able to do the same. She was offering courses in person, but again, she had to pivot. And even after the regulations changed, she still wants to be able to offer courses online. So she has pre-recorded classes that she still offers virtually, even though she's back in the classroom. And Jenna, who created her course in 30 days, all about nail care. So who should enroll in this course? You. That's the answer. Oh, like someone put me with the hands up. Yes, you. So anyone that's ready to start earning income teaching online should enroll. So think about that passion or that hobby, that expertise. And of course, remember, you don't have to have any previous classroom teaching experience. You don't have to have any at all. Anybody can teach a subject that they really love. So a reminder of what you get: the Get It course contains the course content, feedback, the live office hours, live brainstorming sessions, templates and worksheets, and a private chat community. So I actually changed this. I originally did 25% off for everyone who was attending live today. And then I cut the price down. So you also get all these things, right? But I cut it down again because it's the summertime and because school is going to be starting up soon. I cut the price once again. So right now it was 50% off. It's now an addition. It's now $5.99. So that is the new price for those that enroll today or within the next 14 days. Oh yeah, I forgot the bonus. So for the first 5 people who are here in this live replay, I'm not the live replay, who are here for the live session, you're going to have 2 live one-on-one consultations with me. And then the first 5 people who watch the replay and sign up are also going to have access to those 2 live one-on-one consultations. So those are those extra bonuses that I'm throwing in right now. Sometimes I change my mind. So those live consultations are valued at $225, and you'll get those for free if you're one of the first 5 in this live session to sign up. And if you're one of the first 5 who's watching the replay in the next 14 days. So what you're getting: the Get It course, the 3 ebooks, those expert sessions and office hours, the brainstorming sessions, and if you're one of those first 5, the live one-on-one sessions, and the bonus that I haven't told you what it is because it's in the module, and then the private chat community. I feel like that's priceless, absolutely priceless. So what you want to do, sorry, skipped ahead a little bit. Go to the Get It course, and remember, it's 50% off, 50% off right now. So it is currently marked down to $5.99. This is the current summer special for the course. Now, if you're still on the fence, if you're not ready to get it, you want to keep on waiting, keep on waiting, keep on waiting, there are some other options. You can book a clarity call. Now, the clarity call is there if you're not quite sure if this is a good fit, if you prefer doing the one-on-one consultations, or if you think you'd rather sign up for a different course, you can book a clarity call. Now, the clarity call, once you book the clarity call, if you decide to sign up for the program, that is applied to whatever you sign up for, whether you sign up for the consultations, the individual consultations, or for the Get It course. So with all of that being said, I'm going to stop the recording now. I'm going to start answering all those questions over in the chat box. Also, make sure you go to the Get It course, getit.com, or you can sign up at teacherjade.com if you are ready to get it. So now to these questions.